Hello each and everyone, the one who is watching my video. Welcome to Global Online University. In today's lecture, we will see the subtopic under Commerce Paper 2 Unit number 1, that is India's foreign trade policy. What are the barriers to the international trade, that is tariff barrier and a non-tariff barrier. We will say all these things in a detail. One more important thing I want to tell you that every day at 6 I will be uploading my video on the Global Online University. So do visit our channel every day at 6 and do watch my video to clear your exam. Before going ahead, I want to tell you that we the Global Online University brought for you course for the paper 2 Commerce for 2022, in which we will be offering you full syllabus notes of all the 10 units with the detailed explanation, full syllabus test series covering 1000 MCQ with the detailed solution, previous year question from 2015 to 2020 with the detailed explanation, full syllabus video lecture with the detailed explanation. If you take this course, then you will also get paper 1 course, that too free of cost, in which we will be providing you 50 mock tests with the detailed explanation, full syllabus notes of all the 10 units with the detailed explanation, video lecture of all the 10 units with the detailed explanation, previous year MCQ and a previous year question PDF will be also provided to you. The fee of course is just rupees 5000, and student, this is the best time to join the course because you will get enough time to crack your exam. To join, please contact on given number and please do WhatsApp message, or you can also download our app Global Online University. Students, new registration has been started, so please hurry up. Another important or a main topic of international business is India's foreign trade policy. So the 5-year foreign trade policy 2015 to 2020 provide a framework for increasing export of goods and services as well as generation of employment and increasing the value addition in the country, keeping with the Make in India vision of a Prime Minister. अंडर दिस आपको याद रखना है कि इसका जो फैसिलिटेटर था वो कौन था. इसका फैसिलिटेटर था डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ फॉरेन ट्रेड, दैट इज DGFT. और जो ये पॉलिसी थी वो अप्लीकेबल थी 2020 तक ही, क्योंकि ये पॉलिसी आई थी 2015 में. और इसका जो मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव था वो था ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस एंड ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन सी हियर द एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. मतलब कि एक्सपोर्ट को प्रमोट करना, फिर वो गुड्स का एक्सपोर्ट हो वो या सर्विसेज का एक्सपोर्ट हो. और यहाँ पर पेपरलेस वर्किंग पर भी ध्यान दिया था, सो दैट द पेपरलेस वर्क कैन बी डिक्रीजेस एंड ऑनलाइन ट्रांजेक्शन कैन इंक्रीजेस. इसका जो फोकस एरिया था वो था एक्सपोर्ट को बढ़ाना और बिजनेस को सिंप्लीफाई करना. पेपरलेस वर्किंग को इंक्रीज करने का यही मोटिव था कि एक्सपोर्टर और इंपोर्टर को रिलीफ मिल जाए पेपर वर्क से. द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्कीम अंडर फॉरेन ट्रेड पॉलिसी इज मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट फ्रॉम इंडिया स्कीम्स. इसका जो मेन पॉइंट है वो है कि ये पॉलिसी 5 डिफरेंट स्कीम को लेकर बनाई गई थी. मतलब पहले 5 स्कीम अवेलेबल थी जो कि गुड्स के एक्सपोर्ट में हेल्प करती थी. ये कुछ इंसेंटिव देती थी, उन्हें कंबाइन करके एक स्कीम लाई गई अंडर दिस ट्रेड पॉलिसी, दैट इज मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट फ्रॉम इंडिया स्कीम. इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड MEIS. By looking at the name, we can recognize that this scheme promote the export. Under this, there is one very important point, that is duty credit scheme. So to understand what is duty credit scheme, we take one example here. Suppose the A is the exporter and he export the good to the foreign country. Okay. Now to promote this export, the government of India क्या करती है और DGFT क्या करता है. वो एक डॉक्यूमेंट प्रोवाइड करता है, ओके, जिस पर कोई भी अमाउंट लिखी होती है। सपोजिंग गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने 50,000 का डॉक्यूमेंट दे दिया, सो उस डॉक्यूमेंट को बोलते हैं ड्यूटी क्रेडिट स्क्रिप्ट। अब इस डॉक्यूमेंट का काम क्या है? जब एक कोई भी गुड्स का इंपोर्ट करेगा तो उसे कस्टम ड्यूटी पे करनी होती है, तो वो ये कस्टम ड्यूटी उस डॉक्यूमेंट से पे कर सकता है। सपोजिंग ए को कस्टम ड्यूटी मिली है 60,000 की, सो from this 60,000 he can pay 50,000 from that document, okay, and he have to pay only 10,000 from his own money. Duty credit script is provided for the export of a goods or export of a services. इसकी जो वैलिडिटी होती है वो 24 मंथ की होती है और ये ट्रांसफरेबल भी होती है। Suppose the A don't want to import any good from the another country or from the foreign country, then he can transfer that duty of a credit script to the another exporter. Means if he is having someone friend who is importing something from the another country, so he can transfer that document to that person. Now what the benefit that other person will get? Supposing the document is of a 50,000, then A can sell that document to the other person for a 40,000. So here what that person will get, that other person can save his 10,000 from this document. Okay, this is called the duty of credit script. The another scheme under this is service export from India scheme. This scheme is a before called serve from India scheme. इस पॉलिसी का मिड टर्म हुआ था, उसे रिलीज किया था 2017 में। So here what are the barriers to the international trade? You can see the question here. There are 3 international barriers, which are these. Then the answer will be natural barrier, tariff barrier and non-tariff barrier. These are the 3 types of a barrier to the international trade. But before going to this, first we will understand what is the barrier or what are the reasons for the barrier or why any country or a nation impose this barrier. So in this lecture, we will try to understand this. So here we will start with the basic thing first and then we will go with the types of barriers to the international trade. So what is trade barrier or why country impose the trade barrier? To understand this, here we will take one example. At present, just forget about any country. Just think about yourself. If you want to judge any person, what you will do? If you want to know the value of any person or where that person is standing or his position, means the financial position, how you are going to judge? Here everybody know how we are going to judge, right? We will see the job or his education, his qualification, financial condition or his lifestyle, how he is living, everything, right? And mostly we the Indian are doing this during the marriage time, especially from the bride side people, if you know. The intention behind this is only that daughter or a bride can be happy after marriage. If one person is on a cycle and another person is on his own car, having a own car, or living with the luxurious things, then according to you, whose position is better? Then of course the one who is having his own car or who is living the luxurious life, right? This is a way how we measure the strength of any person, right? Like this, even the country is having the ranking. This means where the nation is standing, it has to be a check. To check this, there is a simple way. To know the strength of a country, we have to check the foreign currency reserve available with the country. Means available with the India. We are belong to India, so we will see the FCR of Indian or our country. Having a more foreign currency reserve means the country is having a more strength, or the value of a country is the more. Opposite to that, having a low FCR, that is a foreign currency reserve, means you have to pay the more to the outside country, or a more liability, and it will affect the strength of the country, or a country will have a poor financial condition. As simple as that. Basically, to understand the strength of the country, we have to see the FCR, that is a foreign currency reserve. Strength of the economy is depicted by its FCR. To know the strength of our country, we have to see the FCR of our country. How much foreign currency reserve are available with our country, within the India. So that will decide the position of our country at the international level, right? And the second point here is, higher the FCR, higher will be its position and the strength. Yes, of course. If we are having the more FCR with us, then our position will be higher in the international level, and opposite to that, if we are having a lower FCR, our position will be at a lower position, right? How to increase FCR, or a foreign currency reserve, or a way which we can use to increase the FCR of our country. Here the first point is export increase. It means when a country increases the export, means the country is producing a more good and sending or selling that goods to the outside country, then the country will get a foreign currency. For example, if you are selling in a US, then of course they will pay you for that product or the goods which you are selling them, means you will have their currency in your hand, right? It will automatically increase the FCR. You might be knowing, to increase the FCR, government provide different subsidies, incentive, export promotion scheming, right? But do you know why government is providing all these schemes or incentive? The intention behind this is to increase the FCR of our country, so that our position at the international level will increase, our ranking will increase there, right? The second point here is import restrict. Import means bringing into India from outside country. So whenever you import some product from outside country, we have to pay them. Though we will get the product, but we have to pay, right? That means our currency will go out. And how we are paying them? We are paying through the FCR, that is foreign currency reserve. I am repeating this word again and again only because you will understand what I am telling you. Okay, and if you have any doubt regarding the same, you can write in the comment box so that I can answer that question. When we will pay in the FCR, that means our FCR will decrease and it will affect the value of our country. Our position at the international level will automatically get decreases. So for that we have to decrease our import. Now how can we decrease import? For that, government impose barrier so that outflow of the FCR can be controlled. Here what government is doing? Here indirectly government is increasing our FCR of the country by restricting the import of the country. Government impose barrier, and that barrier is called the trade barrier. Okay. Whatever barrier which is imposed by the government, that barrier is called the trade barrier. Now the time, I am sure you understand why government imposed barrier, right? In simple word, barrier means the restriction which government impose so that country strength or a country value at the international level will not get affected. Tariff barrier. Tariff is a tax which is imposed by a nation or by the government on an imported good. It may be charged per unit, such as per barrel of oil or per new car. It may be in a percentage of a value of a good, such as a 5%, 10%, or maybe in the combination. Okay. Here we can take example. Suppose one product is there which is available in India for rupees 20, and same product is there which is available at rupees 15 in USA. Okay, but to reach that product in India, it takes the charges of rupees 3. Here we can say, right? So the 15 plus 3 will become 18. Now to reduce the import or to restrict the import, what our government is doing, our government is adding the tax to that product. Supposing our government is charging 8 rupees of a tax, so the amount when that product actually came in the market, the product rate will be 26 rupees, right? Now our nation is making same product for rupees 20 and foreign product is available at rupees 26. So here obviously people of our nation will go for our own product, right? And that will help to reduce the import of the product from the foreign country. This is how the tariff work. Further, this tariff barrier is divided into 4 methods: on the basis of origin, on the basis of qualification, on the basis of relation, and on the basis of purpose. Today we'll see this in detail. So under tariff barrier, the first method is on the basis of origin. The method of a tariff barrier means how the tariff barrier will be levied. So on the basis of a origin means where the actual good is manufactured, where that goods is produced or a manufactured, under which the first point is export duty. Export duty is a tax levied by the country of origin on the commodity designated for a use in other countries. For example, if India exports some product to the foreign country and charging some tax, that time we say it is a export duty. Here majority of a finished good do not attract the export duty. The main aim behind this to increase the export. Indian government want to increase their export so that the foreign currency will come in the India. But normally this type of a export duty imposed on the primary product in order to conserve them for the domestic industry. For example, if a Indian are selling some product which is actually important in our nation, that time country will impose the export duty so that export of such a product can be reduced. Generally, there is no export duty in India. The second point under the first method is import duty. And the import duty is a tax imposed on the commodity originating in the another country by the country for which the product is designated. Designated means where the product is going to use. Okay. The main purpose of a heavy import duty to earn the revenue, to make a import costly, and to provide a protection to the domestic industry. Country impose the heavy import duty to restrict the import and thereby to remove the deficit in the balance of payment. The aim behind imposing the heavy import duty is to reduce the import from the another country. On the basis of qualification is the second method under tariff barrier, under which the first point is specific duty. When any country imposes tax on the basis of physical characteristic of the good, that time it is called a specific duty. When the fixed sum of a money, keeping in a view the weight or a measurement of a commodity, is levied as a tariff, it is known as a specific duty. So the specific duty is levied on the physical characteristic of the good. For example, 1 kg sugar is for rupees 50. Now for 1 kg, 2 rupees tax is levied. What we are doing here, we are ignoring the rate of the sugar and we are considering the quantity. For 1 kg sugar, 2 rupees. So for the 5 kg, if I want to buy a 5 kg of sugar, the tax on that will be rupees 10, right? Here we are ignoring this. Rate of the sugar is a ignore. So if the government is charging tax on the physical character, that time it is called a specific duty. The second point here is ad valorem duty. Tariff levied on the basis of value of the item. Here I can take a same example. For a 1 kg sugar, rupees 50 is the charges. So on this 50 rupees, now 10% tax is levied. So I have to pay 10% on 50 rupees. That is a 5 rupees. Okay. It is called a ad valorem duty according to the value. The tax is a charges on the value of the item and not on the quantity of the item. That is a ad valorem duty. When we charge the tax on the basis of the quantity, that time it is a specific duty because we are charging the tax on the characteristic of the product and not on the rate of the product. The third one is compound duty or a combined duty. On the basis of both the value, the quantity and the value. For example, if you import sugar, then you have to pay rupees 2 per kg, which can you see here, rupees 2 on per kg and 10% on rupees 50. So the tax duty you have to pay is total 7 rupees, 5 plus 2 rupees. And this is called a combined duty. Here both the tax you have to pay on the quantity or on the value. The third point under tariff barrier is on the basis of purpose. Government imposed tariff, but why government is doing this? What is the purpose behind this, or what is the motive behind this? That we will see here. So the first point is revenue tariff. It aims at collecting substantial revenue for the government, but does not really abstract the good. Duty imposed on the item of mass consumption, but the rate which the government imposes is very low. Now what is mass consumption? Mass consumption meaning the product which is a regularly used or a product which is the use mostly. The second point under on the basis of purpose is protective tariff. To protect domestic company, government levy duty, and this is called a protective tariff. To protect our domestic industries which is already available in India, government imposed the tariff which is called a protective tariff. So that domestic industry which are already working in India will not get affected because of the foreign product which the Indian are going to import. Then is on the basis of relation, under which the first point is single column. Under this system, the tariff rate are fixed for a various commodity and same rate are applicable to import from all the other country. As I told you before that we are having a Custom Tariff Act 1975 which I explained you in my yesterday class, right? Under which the duty rate are given. Under this act, the system made in which the rate are fixed for the product, the single column tariff means you have to pay a single tariff which is already fixed under the Custom Tariff Act 1975. It cannot be changed. Double column, two rate of a duty are fixed on all or some commodity. The lower rate is made applicable to the friendly country or a country with which the importing country have a bilateral trade agreement. The higher rate is applicable to all other countries. Here the most favored nation will get the benefit of double column tariff because they have to pay less compared to the other country. Okay. The third type of barrier is non-tariff barrier. Government also use other tool beside the tariff barrier to restrict the trade, and one type of a non-tariff barrier is a import quota or a limit on the quantity of a certain good that can be imported. This barrier do not affect the price of the imported good but only the quantity of imported good. under which the first point is quota system. Under this, the government of the country may fix in advance the limit of a import quantity of commodity that will be allowed for a import from the various country during a given period. For example, here I am doing a business and I am selling the iPhone in Indian market and I am importing that iPhone from USA. Okay. Now here I want to import iPhone of 15,000. I want to import 15,000 iPhone from the USA. But here the government said the quota or a limit that only the 10,000 can be imported. But I want 15,000. But because the government set the quota, I can only import up to the 10,000. Here the quota is applied on the quantity of the product and not on the price. Only the 10,000 I can import from the USA and not the 15,000 because of the quota. The second point here is product standard. Under this barrier, the product standard is measured. If the product is not up to the standard, then the product will be not allowed in the country. For example, the pharmaceutical product must be confirmed before it enter into the country. The third type of non-tariff barrier is domestic content requirement. Government impose domestic content requirement to boost the domestic production. Okay. Then is product labeling. This is another type of barrier in which certain nation instead of a specific labeling for the product. For example, European Union instead of product labeling in the major language spoken in the European Union, and such a formality creates a problem for the exporter. Then is packaging requirement. Certain country instead on the particular type of packaging, means they want such type of a packaging. For example, the European Union instead on recyclable packaging material. If the product packaging is not recyclable, then that product will not be allowed in that particular country. Okay. Then is consular formalities. The number of a importing country demand that shipping documents should be include a consular invoice certificate by their consulated station in the exporting country. For example, India is having our embassy or a consular station in USA. If a USA want to export in India, then they have to first go to our consular station or our embassy and take the permission that they want to export their product in India. If they allow, then only USA can export in India. Otherwise, USA will not allow to export their product in India. Foreign exchange regulation. The seventh one point is foreign exchange regulation, under which the importer, the one who is bringing the product, has to ensure that adequate foreign exchange is available for a import of a good by obtaining clearance from the Exchange Control Authority prior to the concluding of the contract with the supplier. This means whenever the importer is going to import the product from the foreign country, he have to assure whether he is having an adequate amount of a foreign currency or not. Then only he can go for the import of the product. The last point here is other non-tariff barrier, under which the health and safety standard, technical formalities, environment regulation will be covered. Under other non-tariff barrier, there are again 2 points, that is embargo and blockade. Embargo for a national interest. It is on all the product or several product. For example, suppose the foreign country export the biscuits in India and India find that the biscuit with the corona symptoms. Here the government will put a ban on that product for a national interest. Okay. And the second point under other non-tariff barrier is blockade. Due to the war, the complete ban on the export and the import. If the India is having a war with the another country, then the product of that country will be banned in India.